Come in 15 minutes early to set up. Stay after close to clean the register. Answer your manager's texts at 9 p.m. Clock out, then finish one last thing. Your boss calls it dedication. Federal law has a different name for it: wage theft, and it happens to millions of American workers every single week. Here's the short answer to the question in the title. No. With almost no exceptions, your employer cannot make you work off the clock. And every one of those stolen minutes has a price tag the law will make them pay, doubled. In the next 10 minutes, what legally counts as work, the 6 tricks employers use to shave your hours, the salary myth that tricks people out of overtime, how to build proof in 5 minutes a day, and exactly where to file, for free. Let's unlock your rights. The Fair Labor Standards Act, the federal wage law, uses a phrase worth memorizing: work that is suffered or permitted. It means if your employer knows you're working, or should know, and accepts the benefit of that work, they owe you for it. Full stop. But nobody ordered me to stay late. Doesn't matter. If your manager watches you close up after clocking out and says nothing, that's permitted work, and it's payable. But I volunteered. For-profit employers generally can't accept free labor from their own employees. The law doesn't let you waive your wages, and it doesn't let them accept the gift. The clock isn't what counts. The work is. If the time card says 8 hours and you worked 9, the time card is wrong. And legally, that's their problem. So what counts? More than most people think. Booting up systems or prepping your station before you clock in. Closing, cleaning, and cash counting after you clock out. Mandatory meetings and training. Yes, even the optional ones that aren't really optional. Answering work emails, calls, and texts from home. Travel between job sites during the day. Not your commute, but everything between the first stop and the last. And putting on required safety gear at the work site. Courts have gone back and forth on tiny scraps of time. A minute here, a minute there. But regular, repeated minutes are not scraps. 15 unpaid minutes a day is more than 60 hours a year. At overtime rates, that's real money. And you'll see exactly how much it doubles into in a few minutes. Now, the myth that costs workers the most. I'm salaried, so no overtime for me. Being paid a salary does not make you exempt from overtime. To legally lose overtime, you must pass 2 tests at once. First, the salary test. Under federal law in 2026, at least $684 a week, and several states set the bar much higher. Second, the duties test. Your actual job must be genuinely executive, administrative, or professional. A shift manager title on a stockroom job doesn't cut it. Misclassification is one of the most common wage violations in America. Why does this matter so much for off-the-clock work? Because overtime is time and a half after 40 hours a week, and off-the-clock minutes usually sit right on top of a 40-hour schedule, which means every stolen minute isn't just unpaid, it's unpaid at your most expensive rate. Here's how hours actually get shaved. Watch for these 6. 1. The auto-deducted lunch. 30 minutes vanish from your check, whether you took the break or worked through it. 2. Time rounding that always rounds down, never up. 3. We don't pay for setup. You just learned that's false. 4. Working through breaks while the schedule says you rested. 5. Comp time instead of overtime. Offering you future time off at straight rates. In the private sector, that's generally not a substitute for overtime pay. 6. The quiet timesheet edit. A manager trims your hours after you submit them. That last one deserves a name. Falsifying pay records. If you've caught it even once, take a screenshot of the before and after. You may have just moved your case from unpaid wages into willful violation. And willful, as you'll see, adds a whole extra year of money. Everything so far is the federal floor. Your state can raise it, and some raise it a lot. California is the loudest example. Overtime after 8 hours in a single day, not just 40 in a week, and double time after 12. Miss a legally required meal break there, and the employer owes you an extra hour of pay for that day. Miss the rest break too? That's 2 extra hours. A handful of states also set exempt salary thresholds far above the federal 684, which means more salaried workers keep their overtime rights. The point isn't to memorize 50 rulebooks. It's this. Search your state's labor department page for overtime and breaks tonight. It takes 5 minutes, and it's the difference between claiming the floor and claiming what you're actually owed. Here's the beautiful part of wage cases. The record-keeping duty is on your employer, not you. And when their records are missing or fake, courts let your reasonable records fill the gap. That rule has been federal law since the 1940s. So build the habit. Every day, in your phone's Notes app, date, actual start, actual finish, breaks you really took. 2 lines a day. Text it to yourself if you want a timestamp. Keep your schedules, your pay stubs, and screenshots of the after-hours texts and emails they sent you. If badge swipes, register logins, or delivery apps track you, remember those exist. A lawyer or the government can pull them later. You are not building a lawsuit. You're building leverage. Most wage disputes end the day the employer realizes you actually have the numbers. Now, the math that changes minds. Start with the back pay. Every unpaid hour at the right rate, including the overtime premium. Then federal law doubles it. Liquidated damages equal to your back pay, awarded unless the employer proves it broke the law in good faith. Which is a hard sell for a manager who edited timesheets. Add attorney's fees on top. Paid by the employer. Paid by the employer. Which is why wage lawyers take these cases without a dime up front. But the clock runs against you. You can generally reach back 2 years, 3 if the violation was willful. Every week you wait, a week of money falls off the back end and disappears. If it's been happening for a while, the smartest financial decision available to you is to start counting now. You have 4 roads, and none of them require paying anyone up front. Road 1. The U.S. Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Division. Filing is free, it's confidential, they don't tell your employer who complained, and they recover millions for workers every year. Road 2, your state labor agency, which often moves faster and applies those better state rules. Road 3, for smaller amounts. Small claims court. We built you a full step-step guide on that. Road 4, an employment lawyer on contingency. The strongest play when a whole team is being shorted the same way. And say it with me from the last 2 videos. Retaliation for a wage complaint, firing, cutting hours, sudden bad reviews is itself illegal and often becomes the bigger case. So, can your boss make you work off the clock? No. The law is blunt about it. If they get the work, you get the wages. At overtime rates when you're past 40, doubled when they get caught. Your path? Start the 2-line daily log tonight. Check whether your salary actually passes both exemption tests. Spot the 6 tricks on your next pay stub. Look up your state's booster rules. And when the numbers are solid, pick your road. The free federal complaint, your state agency, small claims, or a contingency lawyer. If you're dealing with something bigger than hours, a firing that smells illegal, our at-will employment and wrongful termination guides are right here on the channel, and they pair with this one. Subscribe if this helped, Because every week we take one right that powerful people hope you never read about, and we unlock it.